and it is right at 6 o'clock. And so, really excited to be here tonight. I didn't come on live last week because my wife and I wanted to spend some us time together. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. When I say these past couple weeks have been moving at the speed of sound, it's hard to make it up. Like, it's wild the kind of things that God's been doing. But when I tell you that it's been interesting to see all the different things coming into play. But I want to just tell you this flat out. I remember. Oh, well, let me back up. So, those of you who don't know my story, my name's Jeremy Winger, and my dad was murdered when I was 18 years old. For the past, it's been an ongoing case, and I share that from a place of healing. So, please know that I'm okay. But one of the biggest things over the past decade, I've just, as the opportunity arises to be of support for people, understanding grief, walking back from pain into their purpose, and actually understanding how to leave a legacy instead of being stagnant is what has fueled me for the past 10 years. And so it came out of where I, of course, had to go through the grieving process myself, and that is an ongoing thing. That's not something that just happens overnight and well, bing bang, you're good to go. What happens is you start to discover those things that were starting to plague you, or starting to just to haunt you, that over time, because what happens is if you're reminded of that the person in whatever which way, form or fashion, that can pop up and kind of flare up. And so it's been interesting to see, like, when everything first happened, into preparing for my dreams. And there's a lot of stuff that happened to where I had to get out of my own way. I mean, hello, who hasn't been there? And it's been wild to see the things that have happened as I prepared for my dreams as if they were coming true. And the newsletter that's over on LinkedIn, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, this is what we talked about last Sunday. And so part of that whole transition, I remember after losing my dad, and it started after I contemplated suicide. I was starting to understand and unpack all the things that were because of the abuse as I was growing up. There's a lot of abuse that happened behind the scenes, and it started with really unpacking it from there. But after he passed away, after he was taken, I mean, really, truly, as I said in the description of this video, my dad was taken by a bullet. He was murdered in cold blood, and I can empathize, and to a degree when it comes to all the shootings that are going on right now, that as far as the loss. And so and that's where I I had to be okay with not being able to change anything and not to be able to try and be able to fix anything. And that was the tough part. That was extremely hard. And you know, and you guys, if you want to jump in on the comment stream, hit the link above of this video or below, wherever you're seeing it at, if it's on YouTube or Facebook. That way I can see your comments. If you have any questions, please drop them in as I'm just sharing my story. I'll make sure to pause my story and answer them for you. But I kid you not, when I started to prepare for my dreams, they're like to come true. You got to put things in place. If you have something that you're going to go after and pursue, you got to put those things in place and prepare as if they're going to happen, right? Because what happens if they do? Will you be ready? And so I had to conceive that first, that my dreams coming true would actually be a possibility. Because after the grief and after I lost my dad, there was a lot of stuff that happened to where I just got discouraged. No matter what happened, I'm always going to bounce back on my feet. But inside, I was fighting to be hopeful. And there was a lot of stuff that took place professionally, personally, that was going on. And when I tell you that it was not easy, because a lot of times with shame, it started to try and come back to where it would try to tell me that my mistakes were who I was. And that's never true. Your mistakes are a reflection of what you understand, not who you are. Okay. Because here's the thing, your heart and what you stand for, what you're going to be passionate about, will change over time as you gain new understanding. And be okay with that. You're not a hypocrite if you come back and change something that you thought was originally okay. Come back and learn something new. It's like, oh dang, okay, I was wrong. It's called humility, okay? And that's where a lot of and we've been talking about how to forgive ourselves and take responsibility for what we could have to, like what we can do right now, not what we could have done then. And that's a big, big muddied water gray area, because a lot of times what happens is we try to go back and turn the clock back and what we could have, should have, would have done. And that's where regret has its power. Okay. So what happens after a while, if you live in regret and you live in what you can't change, you're going to be stagnant, you're going to be sick to yourself, and you're never going to move forward. Where you have to put the focus at is, what can you change right now? You can't change the past. You can't go back and change what you could have, but you can change what you do right now. I don't know who needs to hear that, but you can change something right now for those that are still here. And understand this. Please understand this if you don't remember anything that I say on this entire stream. It's not always about you. Okay? And I know that some people are going to be like, oh gosh. Here's the thing, though. People love you. Okay? And you're called to impact a lot of people. I didn't plan to get emotional on this episode, but can't fight it. When it comes to your calling, when it comes to, forgive this over here, this is the command strips for the whiteboard that I have right there. I took it down. But there are people relying on you right now to take the next step. Cannonballing it back into your purpose, back into something you're passionate about may seem illegal. Okay? And that's okay. One of the biggest things I want you to understand that it's okay to not be 100%. Because at the end of the day, as long as you make progress, you don't have to be perfect. There's no way in the world that you can be perfect. Not one bit. And it's something that if you can set a small goal for yourself, okay, I'm going to show up one time. No matter how I feel, no matter no matter what's running through my head, know this, that when you take that next step, all you need to do is create motion. Get some momentum going. Because I'm serious. There are other people that love you, that support you. And I'm going to say this and clean it up, okay? Don't let someone else's presence that has left hold you back from being present with those around you. I'm begging you. On behalf of everyone around you, I'm begging you. Don't let someone's presence that has gone keep you from being present with those around you. But all you need to do is just take the next step for right now. All you need to do is take the next step. And y'all let me know if my audio is bad. But please understand that just take the next step. Forget about trying to be perfect and having it all together. Okay? No one expects that of you. And those that do don't care for you. Because those who expect perfection are uncomfortable. Those who expect you to have it all together in 3 weeks want more. Well, I'll say this. That relationship is transactional. However, at the same time, if you have a job, that is a different situation. The reason why I am begging you to take the next step, create some motion. When you have motion, things start to fall in place because you're taking those steps. But also, too, if there's a burning passion still in your heart to do something, what's going to happen is as you're taking those steps, people are going to come along you to support you. Yes, there's going to be foxes in the hen house, so to speak, that may try to come in and actually steal your dreams from you, but due diligence. Trust but verify. Remember, we've been talking about these things when it comes to boundaries. When it comes down to setting up the boundaries for those to pour into you, to be in a way for the relationship, it doesn't infect you, but you be in a relationship with someone where it doesn't infect you and where you affect them. Because here's the thing, it's very tempting to be in a relationship with somebody just because it's comfortable. It's very easy. And it's very tempting. And I'll say this is that it's simple to say it, right? Much easier said than done. And When I tell you that it takes practice, I am not kidding. So here's the thing about practice, okay? When it comes down to you getting the hang of something, you're gonna fall, you're gonna bust your knee, you're going to like riding a bike, you're going to fall off the bike. That is normal. But do what you can to catch it sooner. We've been talking about journals, we've been talking about having those people that you trust that you can confide in that are not going to tell your business to other people, right? But to get in that heart, in that place of where you can feel like it's okay to take the next step is where I really want to hit on tonight. There are people around you that need you. There are people around you that rely on you, whether you believe it or not. I don't care if you're a child of a parent who lost it. Let me say this: regardless of where you're at when it comes to you being a kid in your parents' eyes, believe you me when I tell you, you carry more power than you think. Especially those of you who are parents. We all have a way to support one another. No matter where you're at, don't think too small of yourself. It was my family and I talk about it all the time. Like, my dad wouldn't have changed if I didn't step up. I'm the oldest of three siblings, but at the same time, I'm the son. And the things that I had to do to walk in forgiveness with my dad, it felt weird. It really did. I felt like, wait, isn't this the parents' job? Like, no kidding. Oh man, and it was where I had to really understand that no matter your age, no matter how you see yourself, it doesn't mean that you don't have an impact or an influence. Your identity is not reflected in the mistakes you make. Your identity is reflected in how many times you get back up. Your identity is reflected on your character, not your actions. And I say that to say this is because our actions are reflected on what we believe is the right thing to do. See, our actions are a reflection of what we constantly think on. What we constantly think on is what we're feeding with our words, and also to the outside influences of music and movies and other things. And it's interesting because our actions are a reflection of what we believe. What we understand is yet to still convert to a belief. You can know something all day long, it doesn't mean you believe it. I mean, I know of stuff all day long. I know of people. It doesn't mean I believe in their character. It doesn't mean I believe in what they stand for. I don't really know them. I know of them. Understanding something and then believing it, when you have that aha click moment, boom. Now, here's the thing though, just because you can believe it's possible, do you believe that you're qualified? The thing is, God doesn't call it, he doesn't qualify it. He doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And at the end of the day, here's the thing, even if you're not a Christian, I want you to listen up. Like for real, don't let that turn you off. Why can't you? If you're watching this in the replay or anything right now, drop in the comments, let me know, why can't you? Just tell me. Because here's the thing. Everything in you, I promise you, is probably going to be scratching on like nails on a chalkboard on the inside of you. But here's the thing, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I want you to know that whatever you're going to comment, whatever you may be thinking of, it's a lie. And here's the kicker. Every bad thing that may have been happening, regardless of what's going on, may be a result of that lie. Sometimes we believe things and we create our own atmosphere. Self-sabotage at its finest. And what's interesting is self-sabotage on the negative, but also too, in that exact thing lies the power to create your own new reality. Your ability to respond. Think about it. Your ability to respond. I have an ability to respond differently. Break it down. Because at the end of the day, what happens when it comes to you being able to hone in and sharpen your ability to respond is what actually defines taking responsibility for yourself. And what that looks like is understanding what you couldn't control and what you can do now. Forgiving yourself for what you couldn't go back and do, but you can do now. Forgiveness in its finest is defined by you not allowing those things, those people, or those experiences, that memory, to no longer affect you the way it did, to impact your ability to respond. Your ability to respond differently, to walk in freedom, to no longer let those thoughts and those memories and experience to live in your mind rent-free. That's when you know you're starting to walk free from it. The faster you can catch yourself from responding a certain way, right? Like, that's the thing. It takes practice. It takes so much practice. It's not easy at all. It's hard. It is wildly hard. And when I tell you that it, like, the process is difficult, oof. Oh man, it is difficult. Now here's the thing though, all of the things worth getting are not easy to get, or everyone would do it. And I tell you, the peace of mind and the freedom that comes with not allowing things to control how you react, to respond, to behave in a specific way. Here's the thing. It's not about putting on a mask either. It's not about trying to perform. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do from working from the inside out based on your desire. Based on literally everything that you have that you want to do, but is paying homage and honor to them getting in the way of that. Because the reason why I point that out is because, not the whiteboard again. Hello, those are command strips, not the over here focus. I'm just kidding. When it comes to you being able to really identify that, when it comes to first identifying it, capturing it, and catching it, acknowledging it is the first step. That's the biggest thing. Acknowledging that that's happening, or why you may be doing something. Because here's the thing, paying honor to somebody who has passed away, the best way you can do that is being present with the ones that they loved. The best way that I was able to do that is to be present with my nephew when he was born. Being there as much as I can, as much as my family allows, whenever we have our schedule line up. I don't ever want my family, my wife, anybody, my future children to come. I don't want anything to take me away from being present with them more than 110%. And that's the thing. Like, that is the thing. When we can identify and reverse engineer and work backwards to those things that truly hinder us from being joyful, from being happy. I know it sounds a little frou-frou, but hey, whatever. Hard heads, stubborn heads, get over that. But one of the biggest things, like, you deserve to be happy again. You deserve to be at peace. You deserve to enjoy yourself. And here's the kicker. When you take time for yourself and love on yourself, everyone else will appreciate it. But what do I mean by that? Like, right? What I mean by that is when you love yourself, you're going to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Because if you can learn to love yourself and cherish the things that you have been giving, as far as your gifts, your talents, your abilities, the way that you see things, is on purpose. Okay? The way that you perceive things is on purpose. It is extremely intentional. It goes back to the way that you were designed. Every single thought and the way that you understand it and you see it has value. Understand that, please, and be okay with it. Because when you can identify everything and how you perceive things, the way that you are created creatively, the way that it all goes back into your purpose. It all goes back into that. Please understand that it's okay to do something for yourself again. And if you know that, then let this be a reminder. Because I promise you, I felt like I lost years because I didn't get out of my way sooner. But man, can I tell you that it is the best feeling ever. And when was the best time to plant a tree, right? 20 years ago. What's the next best time? Right now. Start planning for your dreams to come true. Start planting those seeds. Prepare. Because just like a farmer, you can plant crops all day long. Doesn't mean just because you go back and check it every single day doesn't make it grow faster. But nurturing the ground, nurturing the soil, tilling it up, fertilizing it, doing what you need to do to prune. Maybe you need to prune people out of your life. Bad company, bad friends who keep dragging you down, or just by being around them, you're in the state of mind. Protect your heart at all costs. Because here's the thing, not everyone who came with you can go with you. And that's okay. You have a duty to yourself. You have an assignment from yourself to yourself to be able to walk in that purpose. But here's the thing. Just take the next step. Just take the next step. Just do one thing. And next thing you know, you're going to be 10 steps down the road. Next thing you know, you're going to be half a mile down the road. Next thing you know, you're going to look back and say, what just happened? I'm telling you. And all it takes is you taking the next step. And that's the thing. We overcomplicate so many things. And watch your mess become your message. The old cliche. It gets down to the point where, what do you want? What do you want? Really, truly, what do you want? Forget about what everyone else tells you that you want. Forget about what everyone's recommended. Forget about everything else. Forget about all of that for a moment. What do you want? For the first time today, maybe, I'll be the one to ask you, what do you want? It could be good lunch. It could be, I want to buy an apartment complex. I want to change a continent. What do you want? Because when you learn to ask audaciously, watch ideas pop in your head. Just like that. Connecting the dots to certain things. Just like that. But it takes taking the next step. Sorry, there's double entendre. You need to take the next step to create motion. Because God can't steer a parked car. But understand this, that you can't go back and turn the clock back. But what you can do, like I said, if you don't remember anything from this live stream, remember this. Don't let someone's presence that's left to cause you not to be present with those around you. Being stuck there doesn't do anyone any good. It doesn't do you any good, and those around you suffer. So I'm begging you tonight on a Friday night, before you may be going out on date night, take tonight as an opportunity to be present with those around you. Forget about all the noise. Please please forget about all the noise. And please share this out or tag somebody that may need to hear this, because I swear I know there's somebody here that needs to hear it, whether you're catching the replay or not. Don't let someone's presence that has gone keep you from being present with someone else. For those who, sorry, don't let that keep you from being present with those around you, but also with yourself. The way that I'm going to give you this challenge to be present with those around you, but first I want you to be present with yourself. I want you to engage in your own dreams. Stop trying to please everyone around you. Stop trying to make everyone happy. It's time to piss off some people. Uh-oh. Watch out! Because here's the kicker. Like I said, not everyone who's come with you is going to go with you. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, those who love you and support you and who understand you will come with you. And maybe a few. That's fine. That's all you need. Because at the end of the day, when someone has your six, nothing else matters. Take the next step and just start walking. You know, all the time, these boots are made for walking. So, seriously, jokes aside, serious face. I want you to be present and engage with your dreams. Plan, prepare, but just do it one step at a time. Just one step at a time. No need to make things complicated. No need to go all crazy. I'm going to change the world in 3 days. Come on. One step at a time. And next thing you know, you're going to be smack dab in the center of something that you never thought possible. God broke apart impossible, and he said that I'm possible. So what's your excuse? The pain is going to be there. But the only way out is through. From one survivor to the other, I'm telling you, it's worth it.